Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gents. This is Defub21, and lo and behold, what do we have before us today? Well, for those who are familiar with my channel, and for those who are not, not too long ago, literally at the point of recording, 24 hours ago, I did a video game trailer review for the launch trailer for a game by the name of Cursed West, which has been made and published by a company called GoEx, or GOEX Games. I was not particularly, how should I put this, flattering in my review. I thought the game looked very bad. I thought it looked of a very poor quality in terms, not just in terms of its aesthetics, but it looked like it was incredibly basic, crude. I believe I used the word bottom-feeding, shovelware type titles that have begun to have infested the iOS and Android space for some time now, and are becoming a serious problem, to my mind, on the Steam store, because Valve is not really doing their job in curating. Now, to be clear, this does not mean that I don't think GoEx shouldn't be making video games, or that they don't maybe have the potential in the future to make a video game that is good, even if it is quite a low-budget, cheap one. Like the point of comparison, for instance, in the review of the trailer review video I did for this game for Cursed West, and specifically mentioned Downwell, which was when I bought it only a little bit more expensive than this. This is currently going for, I think, €2 and 60 something cents, and I paid somewhere between €3 and €4 for Downwell. So it's quite possible to make a very a good quality, very fun, entertaining video game and sell it for £5 or less. I didn't think this game was going to in any way get up to Downwell's standard of either gameplay or fun in any way whatsoever, judging by the trailer. I didn't think that was going to happen at all. It looked, as I said, like the kind of shovelware, bottom-feeding stuff that's ruined the iOS store, ruined the Google Store, and is doing quite a bit of damage to Steam at the moment. Specifically, is making it very hard for those indie game developers who have made a good game, let alone a great one, to actually get noticed and get some sales, and actually make some actual money and get word of mouth out there and drive more sales and so on. So within 24 hours of me posting that video of the review of the launch trailer for Cursed West on YouTube, I get not one but two messages in the comments section from the official Cursed West YouTube channel, basically saying to the point of, and if I'll get them up here in front of me so you can have a point of comparison. I'll quote them directly. The first one, I think, says, game dev here, so you don't like the graphics? Okay. Are you talking about gameplay? What about the 4 different gameplays? That's a direct quote. Gameplays, plural S, with a question mark at the end. The 3 extra modes, the 2 characters. Are you talking about the gameplay? Go and play it to make an honest review! Exclamation mark with 2 exclamation marks. And then a second message. Otherwise, go and play AA stuff or pay big indie games $20 USD, United States dollars. I specifically mentioned, as I stated already, in the video I did reviewing the launch trailer for this game, I specifically compared it to Downwell, which is a effectively $4/€4 game. So I don't understand where he's coming, that whole 20 USD thing is coming from, he or she or they. All I know is that they've contacted me, and this is the first time for me. This is kind of a momentous day/event, because this is literally the first time to date in the annals of history, as it were, of my tiny, insignificant, meaningless YouTube channel, that someone who's actually made a game that I've reviewed a trailer for, or that I've played and commented on for this my YouTube channel, has actually responded, gotten back to me. Quite possibly because this game has gotten zero to no attention up until now. And I was looking at the, I looked it up in YouTube, actually before the Cursed West channel got back to me to download the channel, get a copy of the trailer, the launch trailer from somewhere, and there was literally less than a handful of actual videos that were actually specifically about this game, and most of them are short. It seems a good few of them are actually from the Cursed West YouTube channel, promotional videos and so on. So no one's been really paying attention to this, and obviously they've picked up my video pretty damn quickly as a result, because they're monitoring any kind of coverage on YouTube and so on, and they've responded to it. And this is the first time, as I said, that this has ever happened to me. So this is, as I said, in that respect, is a momentous occasion. And I thought, you know, I thought this was maybe if they'd laid down the gauntlet, and maybe I should, in fact, it actually says more here. I guess that's why you only have 39 followers. PD, this game was made with 14 USD, my Indiegogo campaign to pay animators and other stuff. If you want big games, support the devs. Yes, 14 USD. Well, yes, that it costs $14 to make, it doesn't surprise me at all. It's also, as I guessed in the trailer in my previous video for this, it is a Unity engine game. So I thought I'd put my money where my mouth is, and I bought a copy of Cursed West, as you see in front of it before you, and I thought I'd have a go, and while you watch, and then let you know what I think as I go along. So let's assume or hope this works out, or if it actually works at all. So first things first, select language. So I'm using the controller at the moment. Let's say I can move the gun up and down. So English, yeah. Okay. Using my Xbox 360 USB controller. And I can move the gun up and down. But let's see, I press A. Nothing happens. I press X. Nothing happens. What about Y? No. B, none of the face buttons seem to be able to click the OK button and get to the next screen. Left trigger doesn't work. Right trigger doesn't work. Shoulder buttons, no response. Digital pad, no response. What if I press the start button? That doesn't do anything either. What about back? That doesn't do anything either. So effectively I can move the gun up and down using my left analog stick, but I cannot, none of the other buttons on the controller appear to work. Let's switch to the keyboard. Okay, W moves up, S moves down. Let's try enter, see what happens. Okay, enter again. Long time ago, a dangerous group of outlaws formed by Jack Horner, Billy James, George Dalton, Sam Holliday, and leaded by Butch Smith, stumbled upon a mysterious object which was holding 5 talismans inside, written saying, place the talismans in the temple of Alfuf or something, and you will rule the world. So then, Smith gives a talisman to each of his men and starts searching for the temple, but Horner decides to run away with his talisman, fearing that the quest will unleash something extremely dangerous. And that was the beginning of the story we are about to live. The best known story that nobody dares to talk about, the story of the Far West that was cursed once upon a time. Okay. So, press start. Campaign again. Back to his hometown, is attacked by Smith's men, and he must fight to keep himself alive. Stage 1, town, okay. Loading. Okay, so W and S seems to point the gun up or down. Forward, or D and W at the same time puts it up at an angle, which the okay, that's interesting. The 360 controller started to work again. And he'll jump using X, reload using A, slides with B, and shoots with Y, which makes no sense. And he can crouch using the left shoulder button, so I might as well give this a go, see what happens. Okay. It's incredibly weird using the Y button to shoot your gun, but anyway. What the hell is that thing appearing around me when I get hit? Okay, jump. Well, now I have two guns. If only I could figure it out now, okay, because I down and jump lets me, I got something out of that box, whatever it was. As I said in the video review, the trailer review, I'm dead. I figured this is all store-bought assets. Continue. So again, I can't seem to use the continue button using the controller, or so I have to go back to enter. Ugh. Where exactly are those things coming from? Those, let's assume they're Molotov cocktails. Apparently my gun can shoot through solid objects, just so you know. Now I can't go any... I'm stuck, can't go back. There is quite literally an invisible wall. That thing makes no sense. Now I've got two guns. You know, it is running. I don't know what the frame rate is or anything else like that. Well, again, it's Unity engine, so it's not like this guy even has the defense of saying, "Oh, I'm a learning, game developer." It's something I did, as I said in the video review or the trailer review. This isn't something I did, or that he did, or they did, completely from scratch. This is a Unity engine game. I assume the art assets, or at least some of them, are at least store bought. In terms of the Xbox One, or the Xbox 360 controller I'm using, USB controller I'm using, the button controls make no sense. You've got reload on A, jump on X, shoot on Y, so that the triggers are ignored completely, which is what you typically would use for any kind of, even a side-scrolling game like this. You'd use... It is a crude... Like, I'm already down to like one life bar again. And I get some kind of invisible wall is keeping me in place. Okay. Jack corner. But again, it's just, you know, the controls, the action controls make no sense. None whatsoever. And considering how kind of bedded down this is, not just for side-scrolling shooting games, but for third-person shooters and first-person shooters, the fact that, you know, it's just so... I mean, you've got the left shoulder button makes you crouch, but that's, you know... I suppose I'll keep going. It's very, very crude. The whole jumping thing is ridiculous. I lost health already. Oh, see, that's dynamite on the ground. He just disappears. Great. Like, it's again in terms of the controller, the controls on the 360 controller. To be clear, the trouble I'm having is nothing to do with the game actually being genuinely difficult, as it just is. It's just a bloody mess. But as I said, like, say just even the controller, anyone who's played Gears of War or any kind of third-person shooter on a 360 or a PlayStation 3 or later controller would have more kind of would be able to just ape that control system effectively, whether it be a first-person or third-person shooter, and get better kind of shooting, jumping controls in terms of placement and all the rest than this. It's a hodge mess. I mean, why would you not use the triggers? You know, and you've got one shoulder button for... Get some more life back. Missed another stick of dynamite there. I was aiming with that guy I was shooting at. He's still shooting at me from off screen. Oh, for... Suppose I should keep going to give a fair opinion and actually, you know, starting back at the beginning, is it? Crying out loud. And again, I'm stuck, can't go back for some strange reason. The thing is as well about this is that because of the way the whole, you know, and now I'm dead again. You just don't, you know, you don't instinctively think that you can A, magically fly through the air and B, fly through a solid object, you know, to get onto these platforms. And no game does that. No side-scrolling game does it. Even in Mario, you gotta destroy a block or two directly above you before you can jump through them, as it were, to get to a higher platform. Just in a pure kind of gamer instinct standpoint, that just there is completely kind of unnatural. That as well, you can't do that in games. So kind of instinctively, I kind of ignore it as kind of an option. Probably got hit there again, great. Hit again. But this game, to be clear, isn't hard because it's, you know, Dark Souls. It's hard because it's bloody badly designed. I mean, irrespective, okay, fine, the graphics are perfectly, you know, they're a bit ridiculous in many places, but because they're functional enough, it's just, you know... The platforming stuff is ridiculous and counterintuitive, you know... So he can shoot at me, but I can't shoot back at him. And I'm dead again. Oh yeah, and there's no, what's the word for it? There's no save points. How long have I been playing this for? 20... I think if my eyesight is right, I'm looking at a much smaller screen that my video recording software is running on, that I've been playing this now for 26 minutes and I cannot get off the first damn level. And just to be clear, you know, this is... I'm not perfect in any one particular genre of video game. I tend to play an awful lot of varieties of different video games, so one could say I'm not a jack of all trades, master of none, but I'm certainly... You know, that's completely arbitrary and just catches you there, so I'm just going to get pummeled out of no fault of my own, because I can't suddenly... There's this invisible wall there that just stops me from... I get hit again. And then you might say, well, why didn't you just crouch? Yes, but the problem is that with the buttons being set up the way they are, the whole thing is a complete kind of disjointed mess. It really is very, very exacerbating. Oh, what's the word for it now? I know there are other game modes. I'll give it one more go, but I'm not there. Yes, there are other game modes, but it's just... I'm trying. In all honesty, I'm just giving this developer way too much benefit of the doubt. I should have stopped playing this by now. I mean, it is in the sense of this Unity engine and the ability to buy store-bought kind of assets, art assets for it, and music, which is, I assume, is where all of this was sourced. Does allow you to put, in theory, to put the bare bones of a game together relatively quickly. But that doesn't necessarily mean, and cheaply, but doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be anywhere near a good or final or polished game. And this isn't, to be clear, I'm not saying that this person shouldn't try making video games. I'm saying, you know, try again and get better at it. And maybe eventually you'll come up with a higher quality product. But, you know, this game is currently available for, and it's on an initial launch sale, 10% off or something like that, for, what is it now? I think it's close to €3. I don't know how much that would be in dollars, but it's too much one way or the other. And, you know, I'm sorry, you know, as I said, if you're a high school student or even maybe you're in first year of college or something and this is kind of a project, that's fine. Make it, put it out there, get feedback from people, you know, maybe even make some improvements to it over time, maybe get it to a half acceptable state, or maybe you charge like 20 cents for it or something. But to charge even €1 for this is, you know, it's particularly actually galling in a way in that because it's a Unity engine game, and because we know that there's, for those who aren't aware, there's a kind of a huge kind of online business out there for developers making... It's like bullets floating through the air. It is. But as I said, oh, for God's sake, there is a pretty substantial, you know, industry out there of people and business, small businesses making art assets. So these character models, the animations, the music we're listening to, the buildings, the background, all that stuff, making it and then selling it to small-time developers or slash wannabes for, you know, a small amount of money, 10, 15, 20 quid. I mean, for all intents and purposes, this game could have been, the developer of this, for all we know, might have spent 20 or 30, got the Unity engine, spent 20 or 30 euro slash dollars, United States dollars, buying asset packs from other people and just cobble this together. So the fact is, you know, they didn't create the engine, they didn't create the art assets of the character models, they didn't, you know, it's all, you know, may well quite probably be all store-bought assets. None of it made originally. Maybe he's made some, he or she has made, or they have made a few tweaks to it, a few changes, a few improvements, if that's even possible to classify this as anyway being an improvement, and then just put it out there for nothing. So I mean, even if, you know, even if they made a game that was visually a third as good as this, a fourth, a fifth as good as that, if you can qualify things like that, but done it, you know, where they'd made it from scratch, made the engine, 3D engine from scratch, done the animations from scratch, the character models, the building models, the background terrain from scratch, the textures, the art, all of it, had done it all from scratch themselves. You know, it may not be as good as this, but at least they would have actually put in the work. This thing seems to have been, you know, bought, every bit of it seems to have been made by somebody else, and the game creator who's made this game, the developer, has just, you know, cut and pasted it all together to make this game, and they're charging what is, in that context, a truly extortionate amount of money. Damn it, got hit again. See, it can't... And you can just... Okay. Well, that was, you know, it took some figuring out on my part, and was, again, the character there, as you could see, is capable of shooting directly 100% down without pointing their gun in any other direction, and firing through, again, a solid object, allowing them to get at me even when I was right up here. So, as I said, assuming that this is all store-bought, pre-made assets by somebody else, you know, at least one could give them the credit if, oh, they designed the 3D graphics engine themselves, they designed the 3D models for the characters, the animation, the animations, they did all the you know, all the buildings we see there. If they did all of that, you know, you could at least give them the credit for putting in the effort. But like a lot of Unity engine games, there's a very good chance that all of these assets were pre-made by someone else, and the developer of this just bought them off the I think Unity has its own in-engine store you can buy assets and stuff from. So they just bought all of this, slapped it together in an incredibly basic manner, and what's particularly, even what's more going than that, The simple fact is, I'm going to be perfectly clear with you, parts of it doesn't work. You can't get past the language selection screen without going to the keyboard. It's the same here, and none of the buttons will actually get this continue going. Again, I have to press enter on the keyboard, so the button controls haven't been properly implemented for the 360 controller. The button controls that have been implemented, quite frankly, I could do them better. Not because I'm a genius or I'm smart or because I'm any kind of developer. It's just that out of experience of playing video games for this stage, a length of period of time that I do not wish to publicly admit to, because it would be a sign of my own impending, pretty obvious. It's kind of that stage where, when you meet a 17-year-old in the street and you ask them, someone who's 17, 18 years old, and you ask them what year they were born in, when the answer kind of makes you depressed. That's kind of the age I'm at. Maybe not incredibly depressed, but still depressed. And the fact is, with my many years of experience playing video games, I could have designed the controls better. For one thing, it's a disjointed mess. The shoot button should be on the left analog trigger, because the crouch button is right above it. The reload button should probably be X, as it is on most third-person shooters. So the X should be the reload button. A should be the jump button. The slide should probably be the right shoulder button. It's just so, it's like whoever designed this has actually played very little in the way of video games, if not in general, but certainly using a console controller. So, quite frankly, the response to my view is the response that GoX Games has made in the comments for my prior video, which I shall put a link to in this video, about their criticisms of my review of their video game trailer are in fact completely and utterly invalid. This game appears to be completely store-bought assets. He or she has literally made little to nothing. The Unity engine is off the shelf. The assets, the animation, one assumes the music is all off the shelf. I could try playing more of it to, see more of the game, but again, it's not because the game is hard. I wouldn't consider myself the greatest video game player of all time, but I do play a very wide width and breadth of video games. I would have completed Halo 5 on hard. I would, again, Nightmare, or what do they give the second higher mode is? I can never remember the name of it. It's not because I couldn't complete the game on that. I just play so many games, just don't have the time. So I've completed Dead Space 1 and 2 on hard. I've S-ranked the original Dead Space. As an example, I've completed all the Gears of War, certainly Gears of War 1 through 3 on hard in the single player campaign. I've completed, you want to go further back on more old school stuff, I've completed Super Mario Brothers, the original Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World, Yoshi's Island, in those cases of, side-scrolling platform games. So I've played, I went through I think I completed, it took me age to, but the Alien 3 on the Sega Mega Drive, I completed that. That was a hard game. So it's not exactly like I'm, I don't know what I'm talking about either with games in general or side-scrollers like this. And it's not hard because it's hard. It's hard because it's badly designed and badly made. And the controls are just a mess. So I'm sorry, GoX or GoX or GOX, whatever how you want to call yourselves, whatever that name actually means. This is not a good game. It is certainly not. If you wanted to somehow get onto Steam and offer it for free, or maybe even for 10 cents or 20 cents, people could have a look at it. give their feedback, even if you wanted to push into early access and offer it for 10 or 20 cents. And then when you get feedback from people, buyers, people who play it, continue to iterate on it, improve it, over time replace the art assets with better quality ones, either you've bought from somebody else or you've made yourself or employed someone to do it for you. That'd be one thing. But this game isn't in early access. It's brand spanking new, implying that it's completely done and finished on Steam. And basically for not much more money than is currently available on sale at the time of recording, a little bit more, and you can buy Downwell, which is a genuinely excellent game. And I'm sure there are many other excellent games in that price range that are great pick up and play fun that like Downwell and effectively like this are effectively either platformer / shooter games. And this game, frankly, on the Steam store is just taking up space, and there could be and taking up oxygen that could be being used by a much more deserving game like Downwell. And it shouldn't be on the Steam store at all, certainly not for actual money. I mean, if it was, as I said, if it was available in early access for like 10 or 20 cents, and the developer made it clear that this is kind of the first time they made a video game, that they intend to improve and iterate over time, replace the store-bought assets over time, make it better and better, okay. But that's not what maybe okay, but that's not what the developer has done here. Not at all. I mean, the idea that you could ask money for this, particularly, a couple of euros / dollars is crazy, absolutely crazy. And I've tended to avoided this kind of thing before, like these kind of games, and I'm not going near that. But it really puts it in kind of sharp relief as to the kind of the stuff people with some real talent who could do with a bit of luck and a bit of exposure are having to compete with on the Steam store these days. So I am, to put it mildly, not impressed in the slightest. GoX Games, your criticism of my previous trailer review is completely without merit. My trailer review is pretty much on the money. This game is, the developer has just cut and pasted these things together, done a little bit of tweaking in the background, probably not even necessarily raw code, just using the dev tools that come with the Unity engine, and that's it. So, yeah. This is a big thumbs down from me. Do not buy this. I mean, maybe if the developer changes their ways and puts it in early access or something and charges little to nothing for it and makes it clear that this is an iterative process, that they're going to make it better and better over time, going to pay 20 or 30 cents, okay. Trying to encourage a budding maker of games, okay. But this is not. That's all you could justify charging any money for this game, is under those circumstances in the kind of low 10-20 cents range. You certainly can't justify what's being charged for it. So this is Defub 21. This is the game made by GoX Games called Cursed West. Do not buy, do not buy, do not buy. And oh, the horror. I'm very sorry for those indie developers that are having to put up, have their games sitting alongside things like this. This is Defub 21. Let me know what you think in the comments. As I said, let me know what you think in the comments. Oh yes, just clear, I am going to get a refund from Steam from this. I'm getting my money back, just to be clear. I bought this. If you like this video, please like it. Let me know your comments if you've played this game, your thoughts on it in the comments, your thoughts on the Steam store and it being flooded with shovelware and the same that already happened to iOS and Android. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please like this video, because it looks like the previous one, GoX, I assume, was the one who negged it, gave it a thumbs down twice, to give it a thumbs up to counteract what will inevitably GoX's thumbs down response to this. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so for more content like this. This is Defub21 signing off. Toodaloo.